Welcome to Agric today on ARSN Television, Mabushi, Abuja, Nigeria. I am Khadija Oluwatoyin, your host. Today's episode of the program, we shall be taking a look at rural farmers and agricultural biodiversity conservation. Yes, I know it's long English and so many people will be wondering what that means. It simply means the care for the soil. Yes, the care for the soil and what methods can be used in the rural level and of course in the mechanized system of farming in ensuring that the soil system is kept intact. Our guest today on the program is Mr. Peter Baoshe, who shall be taking us through what these entails. We'll take a quick break. When we return, the program continues. Stay tuned.
The Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria (ARCN) coordinates the activities of research institutes and is responsible for supervision, regulation, coordination of research activities and programs of higher institutions in Nigeria. And Professor Hamidu Shaributu, since assumption as Executive Secretary of ARCN in April 2020, has solidified the transformation of agriculture in Nigeria through strategic and meaningful execution of research findings for improvement of the agricultural sector.
After the liquid is tapped from the rubber, it can be sold in its liquid form or processed into rubber sheet. To achieve standard of processing of rubber liquid into a more profitable form, the Rubber Research Institute of Nigeria has a rubber latex processing section.
Here is a pilot plant set up by the Rubber Research Institute to encourage, through demonstration, the value chain addition of our produce. Okay. Usually, when you tap rubber from the field, as I'm very, very sure you guys have seen earlier today, it is processed into raw materials that can be consumed by would-be manufacturers who are interested in using natural rubber as a base raw material.
For grains, we have the parabolic solar dryers. These are specialized solar dryers used for drying agricultural produce such as whole grains, yam and cassava chips, fruits and vegetables more efficiently. It is made of a special material that concentrates the rays of the sun within the enclosure while eliminating harmful ultraviolet radiation. Products dried are free from contaminants and are hygienic.
The parabolic shaped solar dryer is a need-based technology because virtually when we travel all over the country, you will see by the roadside, you see people drying all sorts of agricultural produce. Some spread their own on bare ground, and by the time the vehicles are moving, the dust stay on the products. The reptiles will come, they will eat whatever they can eat, drop their feces and their urine on it, and the owner comes in the evening to pack everything together and still eat that product. And the product has been contaminated, and we feel this is not right, and it is part of our mandate to make sure that we set it right, and that was what led to this, so that we can solve this problem at the grassroots level. Instead of drying by the roadside, drying on just bare ground in their villages, when they have this as a drying center, everybody in the community can bring their product there, spread on the tray, and they get it dry under hygienic condition that is covered. And the dryer also have another property to screen the ultraviolet ray of the sun, which is also can cause hazard to human health.
Welcome to Federal College of Land Resources Technology, Kuru, Jos, Plateau State.
The atomic absorption spectrophotometer, AFS, is an instrument which is used for the determination of metals that are dissolved in source.
Plantation. Put it like one. Welcome to Production Farms, where we're going to take you around our production tanks and a practical fisheries and integrated farm. We integrate the farming system with a banana and plantain and so many aquatic animals.
Students and the other youths and women within the community. And this, in the aspect of training, we have two aspects of the fisheries and aquaculture. The fisheries aspect is the way to catch a fish, like a processing aspect, the catching aspect, and then when we come to the aquaculture aspect, is the breeding and then the production unit. In every aspect of agriculture sector, you need to have a seed. So the college here, our mandate is to train how to produce a fish seed, that is the fingerlings. And also, not only the fingerling production also, we also aid in producing manpower from different aspects of the community, different communities. Fishery School Baga is a very long established in 1978, of which, for me, let me use of opportunity to say that I am also part and parcel of this college, because I graduated from this college, and that college, the college is more or less of entrepreneurship of the college, where when a student leaves the college, at least can stand by himself. Now, as we are talking about the federal government is now talking about food security. So once if you come out from this college, you can able to at least maintain our training and then also stand by yourself, self-employment.
Okay, this is the one of our greenhouses, the 7th greenhouse that we have in the school. As you can see, we have cucumbers growing here. Okay, we have the crops, and the cucumbers, they are about 60 days old today, 55 to 60 days old. Okay, as you can see them, they are doing very well. So you can take a glance at some of the foliage that are growing. They are still fruiting very massively. The fruits are very, very big and very, very big. As you can see, we also employ drip system of irrigation also here. Drip system of irrigation, okay, where the waters are given to the plants at intervals and regulated. Generally, we usually irrigate the plants twice daily, morning and evening. Okay, as I went due, we vary that based on the temperature that we have from time to time. Okay. As you can see them, you can see the cucumbers are doing very well. They are growing very well. We actually done some harvesting this week. We've done 2 harvestings already. So generally we do 2 harvestings a week, like Monday and Thursday. The other factor I would like us to know is the fact that the crops we are doing here, they are actually F2, like they are the second filial generation. Okay, as you can see, the fruits growing really massively. So based on the research that we have done here, we have been able to see that most of the time we buy the F1 generation from Design of Nigeria. You understand? They are this European variety, you get. And then we have seen, based on research, that the fruits can actually be harvested and harnessed in the production of further seeds. This is one of the milestone achievements we've been able to achieve in Fecolat. We have been able to see that instead of wasting a lot of money, using a lot of money to buy F1 from Europe, understand, to plant in the greenhouse, we can also make use of the F2, like the product of the F1, to produce further croppings.
ARCN,
promoting agriculture.
ARSN Television, Abuja, Nigeria, and we've been talking to our guest, Mr. Peter Baushe. So there's some farmers who are just like every other business person who are, the get rich quick kind of farmer who does not put the number one health of the consumers and, the health of the soil itself into consideration. How do you think they can, what should be done in conserving the biodiversity?
Well, first, there are regulators, there are regulations that law enforcement that should be done. The NAFDA, for example, and consumer protection, these are regulators that are out there because, actually, for soil conservation, pesticides, herbicides, there are some that have been banned already, but are being used by these farmers because they want quick results. They want when they pour it, they come in the evening, all the grasses are dead, not knowing that why they are banned. Some of these chemical substances are banned because of their harmful inimical nature to the soil, not just to the soil, but some of them have decades. When you come and plant a new crop there, they have residual effects that when you eat, it still affects you. You still get cancer and so on. So they are carcinogenous, some of these chemicals, very serious chemicals. But when you go to the open market, you find them, So it is for them, creating this awareness, like this forum, is where some of these people that do this don't know the effect, the side effects. So it's important, desensitization, to farmers, especially rural farmers, it gets to reach them. And then there's also this, the fact that some farmers, because of the nature, they want quick, like I also say, quick productivity, they want higher yields, they add a lot of fertilizers, even the ones the soil does not require. So in doing that, there comes a threshold that the soil becomes acidic. So it is like a law of diminishing return. So instead of getting higher yields, the yield starts to go down, even though you are adding a lot of fertilizer. So that's why it's still the science, the technology. That's why the Western world usually is ahead of us when you come to yields, because they take their time to check what is even in the soil. You have your baseline. Okay, this is the number of N means nitrogen in the soil, phosphorus and potassium. These are the levels. These are what I need to add. That way, you are saving money, and then getting higher yields. So everything is about good planning, good management, good conservation.
And awareness.
And awareness. Awareness is critical. That's where journalists, have a crucial role to play. Because when this information reaches them, they will be aware. It's awareness is the difference between you riding your bike, to town and driving in a car to the same place. You save time, energy, and so many other things. Yes.
Okay, so quickly, we talked about, you mentioned briefly about genetics. Genetically modified, products and produce.
Yes.
There's been outcry by some, Nigerians feel that it's not safe, it's not, and then we are talking about biodiversity.
Yes.
And how farmers can conserve this soil. Isn't it? This is one of the ways. Can it not pass for? Because you know that yes, these are improved crops. These are of what much difference are there with the regular, produce that we have in the market? They'll tell you this is organic, this is genetically modified.
Yeah, genetically modified.
In our market, in the open market, you don't get that, except you travel out of the shores of this country. And even in big stores, you seldom see them identify that these are genetically modified. In the area of this conservation that we're talking about now, how do, apart from avoiding these pesticides and these fertilizers and the rest, the land that is already having issues, what do the farmer do?
Well, when the land is having issues, there are a lot of access, there are a lot of things to do. You can, for soils that say are acidic, you can add lime, to neutralize it. There's a certain level you need an expert to help you check for it and see what you do, and it will easily improve. For sodic soil, there are soils that have reached a level that they are not useful to the soil. What you spend to work on them is better you get something else. And that's why sustainability, this awareness should reach out. For you to sustain, you need to follow some basic production practices, so that, say conservation now, you need to conserve. Say a land that you have been using for monocropping, you're planting maize, and you have depleted the nitrogen. You need to from time to time plant it so that on that soil you're doing maize, maybe the next year you plant, say, beans. That naturally adds nitrogen to the soil. And then when you're done, there are tillage practices in which all you harvest, you leave it on the soil. That way you're adding organic matter to the soil. Some practice that you clear the soil from everything. No, leave it there. Let it decompose there. You are improving the nature of the soil. So these practices, if we do it, instead of harvesting everything,
and
when
then
clearing and burning, you are not helping the soil. Yes. Instead, leave it there. That's part of the tillage practices you do. In fact, there's what is called zero tillage, which conservation, really is, identifies with. So that when you want to plant your crop after in a place like this, you don't go and, plow and turn the soil, but you just plant whatever you want to do. Get around, plant the soil, and then maybe weed around the crop like that and leave it. Yes. Because all the natural things that are there will also help that soil to grow. Zero tillage. Whatever you have harvested, you leave it there. But also another thing you do is this crop rotation. It's also very important. You plant this today, you know what is planted. The next year you plant something else, so that you don't do monocropping continuously and deplete the soil of certain nutrients. All that is very important. And then talking about the GMOs, and how they come to play. GMOs are not bad in themselves. A lot of propaganda is out there. And I dare say that every good scientist will tell you that GMOs will be eating them for long, my sister. They are in the shop. Some of those crops you are seeing in the department store, once you have gone to ShopRite to shop, you have eaten GMO. Even in the open market, you are eating the GMOs. What are GMOs? Genetically modified, organisms or crops, as the case may be. They are not bad in themselves. It's technology. That is what is keeping China till today. China has the highest population. There was a time I was in a Chinese meeting where they told us the history of how China started to, if there's a story in the Bible, I don't know if it's in the Quran, where the children of Israel then, it came a time of siege and famine that women started slaughtering their children to eat. It happened in China in recent times. The level of hunger got to that level. What saved them? It is this genetics. It is this, crossing of, what's genetics? Crossing of certain crops. If you plant a row of corn now, naturally, from natural selection, you see some, if all of them are diseased, you see one standing out that is not diseased. You select it, and then you grow. It has a natural ability to resist that disease. Okay. Yes, and then you cross it with others for certain traits that you need, whether disease resistant, higher yield. There's one that produces more than every other one. These are part of genetics. Of course, there are some in which you modify some of the DNAs like that in the these are higher levels of, but all these are that is science for you. But importantly is the fact that in Nigeria, for that law, we have a regulator that preserves, that checks to see that whatever is produced is safe for human consumption. That's the important thing. Yes, NAFTA. So everything goes through proper screening, several years of checking to see if they are safe, And I can assure you, we are eating them. That's not what is causing disease. Instead, we need the food to eat first. It's not what is causing the disease. It is, the surplus, if we have surplus, enough food to eat, that is what food security is what we are after. And the way to get this is GMOs, that is tested, well tested, and it is safe for consumption. Science is science, and God is the one that gave us wisdom on how to develop, to expand, and to have bumper harvest. That is what science is for, and every one of us is in support of that.
Okay, so looking at the economic implication of, not really economic now, so to say, we know that in the rural setting, farmers would look at their costs and, if I'm going to plant this crop, it will take longer time before, if I'm going to conserve, the biodiversity, it will take longer time. That means the only thing I'll be doing is to water if it's rainy season. That is why I want to believe that some farmers go for more of this not organic pattern of farming. What's your word for them? Those that feel it's a waste of time.
It's a waste of time. Well, time itself is of the essence. They say time is money. Well, there's nothing wrong in going for not conventional at the old ways, maybe modern, early maturing varieties. That's technology, that's a part of it. But we're talking of farmers, like you say, who don't really have the wherewithal, so the diversity is also very important to conserve, our genome, our pool of genetic resources. It's important to keep at it, go the natural way. But those who are going, most of our rural farmers is subsistence farming. Maybe you sell part to meet some certain needs, but majorly it's to eat. Those you can do a lot of organic. Of course, we know that our rural people are stronger, are more resilient, immune level is higher because they go for natural things. We in the city go for a lot of preservatives and so on, processed food, but importantly, it is for them, those who are looking at producing higher yields faster, is to go for improved varieties. Science has made provision for that. You go for your improved varieties of, crops that are already certified. When you plant them, so instead of staying for 90 years, maybe you're doing 60 years and harvesting. There's nothing wrong with that, but it is important to follow the rules, because when you don't follow the rules, you have problems. When you tamper with the rules, with the basic, you're going to have issues at the end of the day, like we mentioned earlier.
Can areas with topography issue, looking at Abuja for example, when you go to places like the Buhari Area Council, you go to places like Gwagwalada and Kuchi, you see that the topography of Abuja is different when you come to Amak Area Council here in the nation's capital.
Yes.
Those people on the hilltop, is it possible for those soil to be conserved as well?
Absolutely, very possible. Those at the hilltop, so there are different types of farming. We have what is called, when you are on a flat ground, when you cultivate your soil, is different from somebody that is on a slopy ground or on a hilly area. You do terrace farming. There's a way you do it so that you don't have runoff. Because if you are in a hilly area and you just go and spread your fertilizer like you do on a flat ground, you won't have anything, because when rains come, it will wash it all away, and then your plants will be there standing without the nutrients they need to grow. So there's what is called terrace farming. You do it in such a way that even when the floods come, they are preserved. It's a system, it's a farming system. Yes, there's a way you plant it. Those who are in the hilly area know this. You don't plant the way you plant. Even the planting, the cultivation first of the soil and the way you plant them is different. You want to apply your fertilizer, not spread it. You want to dig a hole, drill a hole by the side and apply it so that it's available to the plant. Even though rain falls, it won't wash it off. So these are systems, ways, you know, of planting. And you know, technology has made available. Even in the RCN, we're trying to emphasize it now, you know, so that everybody knows, you know, they say know yourself and know where you are. Don't just go the way everybody is going. Don't join the bandwagon, because what is good for you may not be good for you. You know, so know yourself, know the system that is appropriate, and apply it, and then everyone will be happy, and then food security will be taken care of.
Thank you very much for coming on the program, sir.
Thank you so much.
Yes, we've heard it. If we know the right soil, we're able to conserve our soil. Food security is going to be addressed. On that note, to wrap it up on Agric Today on ARSN Television, Abuja, Nigeria. Join us again, same time, same station next week. Bye for now.